Hello and welcome to another edition of the Moving Iron Podcast. This podcast is proudly provided by Axon, helping dealers move more iron for almost 100 years. Find out more at axontire.com. Axon was started almost 100 years ago out of a passion for keeping agriculture moving. It's that same passion that drives them today. With a vision for a better experience for both farmer and dealer, they set out to create a better way to move more iron. When you partner with Axon, you get immediate access to a full range of products and solutions designed to meet the complex needs of today's grower. Axon carries all major brands and sizes of tires, wheels, and tracks. From custom colors and sizes to fully customized wheels, you can have the solution for virtually any problem today's farmer is trying to solve. To find more or become an Axon dealer, please visit axontire.com.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving iron.
Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast number 227. This edition of the Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by Axon Tire, helping dealers move more iron for the past 100 years. For more information, go to axontire.com. TractorZoom delivered insights. Use their product Iron Comps. If you like what you see, use Moving Iron at checkout and you get yourself a super sweet discount. That's my favorite thing to say.
Super sweet.
Super sweet. And then if you also want to get a nice CRM package that helps salespeople sell more stuff, check out Arrow. Arrow.com, and you'll get all the great information there that you need. Little background noise today because I've got some good friends here at the Moving Iron Summit that we are going to record a podcast about, I don't know, whatever comes up. So that's kind of the normal part of that is we don't really know what we're ever going to talk about.
No, there's never a outline. No. If there is an outline, we make it halfway through the first one, and that's it.
So you mean it's not like when Megan sent you a list of all the questions that she was going to ask you?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that at all.
My wife did.
All right. So here we got Aaron Fennell, Brent Bowen, Matt Hassel, we got Eddie Cliggity Claxton, and then we got Bryant Robertson and Adam Werner. Adam Werner has his own podcast called Agish, and if you get a chance to check that out, make sure you do that. But we had a 2 days spread over 3, and so we had 3 nights involved in that. So
in Nashville.
In Nashville. So what could possibly have gone wrong, right? You know, we went to church every night and had a good time, had good fellowship the whole time.
Yes. Yeah. Interaction with brethren.
Interaction for sure, no doubt about it. So. No, it's a good time as always. I look forward to this every year, getting together with you guys and talking about what's going on, what we see happening. So let's. We have a pretty good cross section here. So we got the High Plains, we got Corn Belt, we got South, Deep South, really really deep South, and then we got Adam. That's in the deeper South. So let's just talk about what's going on. So we're out in the middle of corn harvest. All that stuff's going on. What do you and anybody just start talking? What are you guys seeing out there right now?
Southwest Georgia, we're trying to finish up corn and already digging peanuts. Been working on that a couple weeks. Cotton be defoliated in a week or two, and phenomenal harvest on corn. Peanuts look great.
All the way across the board.
Yes.
All of them look good in the South.
So we're very thankful and just hope the hurricanes stay out of the way so we can get going and finish up early this season.
Yep. Brent, what are you seeing in your neck of the woods?
Central Illinois, Western Indiana, we've had isolated weather events that are going to have problems for some people. Our yield is not what it should be, but it'll be good. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very sporadic on yield.
Pretty spotty.
It's very, very spotty.
Yeah. So the rains, I've been watching the weather there, so the rains have been very, even for us out in the panhandle, man, it's been, I'm not kidding you, it'll rain on one guy's circle, and there'll be, the neighboring circles are as dry as a bone. And then, it's like that. Is it pretty similar?
We're seeing a very similar thing, and wind is what's really probably got our harvest more dicey than normal.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of twisted up corn, and guys don't know about it yet, but it's out there.
It's out there, yeah. So you guys down south have been wet, right? You guys have had real wet.
This took some focus on the peanuts and corn, peanuts and cotton. We've got some sections that are not gonna do and perform as well. Peanuts washed out, cotton just too much water on it, but
Yeah.
Not enough heat units.
not enough heat, but for the most part, we were hoping for a tremendous cotton. Peanuts so far look good, but really won't know till we get deeper into it.
Yeah, and right now, we've probably got one of the biggest corn crops we've had in North Carolina. I was talking to one of our guys in southeastern Virginia. He's averaging around 318, 320 on some corn, which is extremely good for that area. Cotton, there's a lot of cotton down further to the east. It's probably 40% open. They're getting ready to start defoliating. We've got some soybeans guys will be picking in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Peanuts are on the ground. Crop looks really good. There's a few guys that are having some disappointments because we had a very, very wet spring. There was a lot of drowned out. There's some cotton that's starting to turn red. It's flushing out. But other than that, I mean, I think it's going to be a good crop.
Yeah. What are you seeing, dude?
Finishing chopping silage, starting, about half done with beans, which then everybody usually follows in the beans with wheat. Guys getting, early beets.
Yeah.
Early sugar beets are rolling. And then once everybody gets caught up with that, we'll be on corn in a month or so.
Yeah.
We are late corn country.
Yeah, we are late corn country for sure, and we have. I'm interested to see what our yield looks like. I mean, some of the corn I think in the field that looks good, that's irrigated corn that looks good. I'm going to be interested. I really want to see what the yields come out to be because I think it looks better from the road than what it is.
I think there's a ton of that, especially out in our part of the world, man.
We've got the exact same thing. It looks fantastic from the road, but when you get into it, it's not there.
Yeah.
Disease come in, that late summer rain
Yeah.
wrecked us.
Well, we've got some that looks really bad from the road, but it's really good the further down the field. It's just a varying soil textures.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we can't possibly do one of these podcasts and not at least talk about. That's the most farm talk we've ever done. You know that?
Well, that's because it's not just you and me.
That's true.
But Housel has.
It's not just Scottsbluff County and Box Butte County. We actually have other states.
I didn't even get into the other crops we've got.
We didn't even go there.
We still got pecans. We finished up with watermelon. Still got some vegetables running. Watermelons were not what expected. The market dropped to bottom out. So
It was good early.
yeah, good.
back in June.
Very, very early, and then
really good.
sweet corn. Sweet corn's kind of holding its own. Got a good bit of that still going on. So
Yeah.
I think the rain in our area has really affected our sweet potato crop.
Yeah.
A lot of potatoes don't like a lot of rain. We've had it, and I think it's making them rot.
Our sweet potatoes are going to be far behind. But our tobacco, I must say, probably 50% of that got dissed up. I mean, it drowned right out. It wicked up and flapped right down.
Really?
That makes me sad.
You guys have more than 2 crops.
Oh yeah, we have probably
More than
70.
Tell me about this. More than 2 crops.
More than 2 crops. I
Says
mean,
the Illinois man.
Yeah.
we are like one of the most diverse states in the union.
That'd be nice.
I mean,
Well, you have some wheat here and there over there.
Amen, brother. I was on the wheat run this summer.
See? There you go. That's 3.
Sign me up.
Cover crop.
Got wheat one time in my
yeah,
life.
that's cover crop for us.
Yeah, this year for us, it was about in February. They were like, well, we better start throwing some nitrogen into this cover crop because we fisting to cut some $7 wheat.
Yeah.
And they make that call come springtime. Are we going to just kill it off, or are we going to throw some fertilizer to it and cut it this year? So
Yeah.
I mean, you're thinking. I mean, we have Irish potatoes, sweet potatoes. We have sweet onions. We have corn, soybeans, cotton. We have wheat, triticale. The list goes on and on. Tobacco, watermelons, cantaloupes, pumpkins. I mean, it's all up there.
Corn. Beans.
Corn.
Yeah, more corn and beans.
Yeah. So let's hit a little equipment talk here. So if you were to say that the equipment situation has gotten any better since the last time you and I did this, which was last week, it's no. It hasn't.
No.
So if anybody was wondering, it hasn't changed any. But
Odds are it's gotten worse.
so here's something I'm thinking about. So we've got I don't care what manufacturer you are, everyone's kind of in the same boat. There's going to be all of this equipment that shows up all the time, all at once, bam, right? You're going to get this huge mash of equipment show up this fall, going into the end of the fourth quarter, you know? And then I think there's going to be this lull, and then like second quarter, beginning of second quarter, mid-second quarter, is going to be another big dump of equipment that come in. What are you guys doing with customers and their trades? Because, like, for example, we have situations where we might have new and sold to Adam over here, and I take his trade and I've got it sold to somebody else, and I've got his trade in. You know, I got Eddie's trade in sold to Aaron. You know what I mean?
We're four deep.
If Adam would just get his act together, I could make all this stuff happen. You know, at the same time. But what do you guys? How are you guys handling?
For us, the bulk of our inventory will be coming in new orders.
Yeah.
Between now and December, we'll have in less than 5 months a year supply.
Yeah.
And we're probably batting average around 80% of all that being dispersed out
Yeah.
into the third, possibly some of the fourth. But the wholesale market is so strong, they will take whatever you give them. So there's an opportunity for us to place every tractor we have. Now, peanut equipment, cotton equipment is a whole different ballgame. So when you talk about those, it's going to be some carryovers.
Yeah.
But supplier issues have hindered everyone, and we're already into talks of reordering muds for 22, and we haven't even delivered them in 21. So just so we can get the tractors.
Well, we're in the same boat. We've got some of our guys have multiple muds going on at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're started one, now we're starting another one midway of that initial
Oh
mud.
yeah, before you even finish with the first one.
But I think also getting back to what you're talking about with the wholesalers, I think the A, B, and C market, so far as your equipment grades, this is the only year, the last 2 years, and I think going into the next 2 years, this is the only year where we've had the biggest advantage of selling all 4 grades.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
sure.
that whole demand curve has increased across the board. I mean, the wholesalers are more willing to take a D series, a D tractor, and they can fix it up because they know they can still make money out of it.
When we're selling anything from a 1-year-old to ever how old, and we don't even want. We had a wholesaler come on the yard the other day on a 1-year-old 5000 series with a loader, and we had no intentions of wholesaling. The salesman told him the number, which was stupid retail, and the wholesaler said, "Okay, I'll buy it." And I called the guy, and I'm like, you're gonna probably not make a whole lot. He says, "Well, I've got to have something for myself."
Yeah.
I see
So
that.
they're willing to take that risk now, and I think we're going to see that beyond a 12-month period until this thing subsides. But 12 months ago, that would have never happened.
Now, are you also seeing that across all the colors? I mean, we're seeing that.
No, it doesn't matter
It doesn't
the color,
matter-
the
it
trade.
doesn't matter
Doesn't
what it
matter
is.
the color, the trade, make or model.
We're getting-
There's so much need.
We're getting
It's
wholesalers.
crazy.
We're getting wholesalers putting numbers on old Alice Chandler 70-60s. I mean, it's
Wheelhouse,
just.
bro.
Right on.
I mean, just to have something to say.
Casey, to your point though about, like Aaron said, like we're 4 trades deep on this. I've been traveling all summer trying to get those trade-ins out of the farm. And in June, it became crystal clear that our manufacturer is not going to get us the product. And no one is giving up the trade-ins.
Right.
So we're 4 trades deep that are all sold.
Yeah. They're also.
There they sit.
I don't know about you guys, but this is the first time that I've been able to have a conversation with the customer about, hey, you know what? We told you it's going to be here in X, and now it's going to be Y. Remember I said Y, now it's going to be Z. You're like, oh, okay. And they don't throw fit, they don't stomp your feet, and it's because everything they do now.
6 months ago they did.
Yeah, 6 months ago.
6 months ago they threw a fit
Yeah.
about parts or whatever, and now
Now it's like,
from just something being that was supposed to be there, a
I
part
hate
that was
to
supposed to
say
be
it,
next
it's
day.
becoming part of normal life. that we
Yeah,
don't
everybody's
like,
just
but
numb to it.
it's
Yep.
happening.
But what we're seeing is our ag customers are more acceptable to that.
Yeah.
From the consumer side.
yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
just go to the first guy that's
Right.
got it.
They're got,
Yeah.
and it don't matter what color it
Yep.
is. I mean, it doesn't matter about anything.
Yeah.
I'm scared to death of planters. In Illinois, as you know,
Yeah.
exact emerge planter is king of the castle. And That's our most important piece of equipment, hands down. And we have a lot of planters sold and a lot of very expensive trade-ins on the books. And everybody's like, I gave you my combine and now you're gonna have to give me a combine to run.
Right.
I'm absolutely not giving up my planter.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing too, man. It's the same thing. You know, we had, we tracked this report, you know, how many machines are on Tractor House and Machinery Pete and all that. And we tracked, this is the first time since 2014 that combines have been under 10,000. And they were right 20 machines below 10,000 last month. I checked it again just the other day. It was under 9,500.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
So it's getting to the point now where guys thinking about, oh shit, well I know I'm going to make some money. I need to have some tax write-off of some sort, you know, because every farmer's the richest person on a piece of paper. You know what I mean? And you start looking at
5-minute millionaire.
you think about it. I mean, these guys get a tax bill for 150 grand. That's the cash coming out of their operating capital. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden they're used to, okay, $150,000. I'll go buy you know, whatever, and I'll have a $80,000 down payment or whatever I need to make to make that work. My tax problem's taking care of itself, right? I use 80 grand or 50 grand or whatever to come out of my account. I'm kind of worried about what it looks like when these guys have, you know, make a bunch of money, and what's that capital situation look like? That's what this is one of my biggest concerns going into the year, how that's going to affect the first quarter. Because like you guys said, you know, you're going to have a year's supply of tractors, something like that coming in at the end of the year. So you're going to have a great opportunity to sell that stuff. I think you're going to be.
But on the flip side, some of that, like you going back to the guys we're looking at now, that's going to be a critical issue is at the end of the year, they come to us wanting to buy something. It's not going to be new.
Right.
It may be a second to fourth tier trade that we're going to have to sell it to them physically in 6 months or less. I'm going to trade it right back just to keep their paperwork so they're not having to have these tax issues. And that's the only way we're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's
whether they even operate the machine or not. It's just a market.
It's like
trend.
prepaying the co-op for your fertilizer and
Exactly.
seed and all that kind of stuff. It's just going to be a transactional deal on the tractor.
The other side of the coin on that side, though, is you're going to have a lot of guys that don't even identify themselves to you. They're going to go to an auction and say, well, you know, I might be able to buy it cheaper on auction, but it's going to be an inflated value on the auction.
Right.
And then 6 to 8 months later, it's going to be coming back to the dealership at an inflated value.
Or they're going to want said inflated in value for it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I do see that. I mean, because with us, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, I feel like coming between now and the end of December, we're going to have a overzealous auction season.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
I mean, just one company I've talked to, they're going to have 6 sales between now and December.
yeah.
I mean, so I do think we're going to see some values. They're going to get really hyperinflated, and that, you know, that affects us on the other side when we're trying to do these trades with the guys that aren't doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Not what you're saying, I think is right, and there's going to be a lot of estate retirement sale type things that pop up too, and again, those are even going to be even higher.
Yeah.
You know? I think I can't remember what it was the other day. Combine, I think maybe, and it sold for $15,000 more than I had asking price for mine sitting on the lot.
The Sullivan things that he put up there just in the last, what he said, the last 2 months?
Yes.
The random stuff, that equipment sold for?
What was that?
I mean,
What was that one that sold? Was it 8,300? That sold
no,
for
it was 9620.
9620.
With triples.
Yeah. With triple.
With triples for
200.
200 and something.
270.
I
270.
think it was about 50,000 over reported value.
9620.
9620.
Not an R.
Not an R.
Not an R.
I will say, I saw it in person. That was a damn nice tractor, though. But
But what does that do to the market, though, for the guys that hadn't seen that tractor?
Well, I think you can't even look at the market right now.
Right.
We're in such a.
Every deal's different.
Yeah, it's all going to be
You can
different.
go around the
every
table
deal.
and ask how many years everyone's been in this industry, and don't matter if you've been in it 2 or 20 or 30. This market is a market that no one's ever seen,
you've
even
never
the
experienced
forecasters, and we
unprecedented.
will never probably see this again, and to tell you how long it's gonna last, no one knows.
No.
There's a prediction, but we're just gonna have to all work together as organizations to try to weather it before it happens and hopefully be out of non-inflated inventory when this thing does go south.
So I've given that some thought too about kind of when I don't think that demand is ever we're not gonna see demand slow down for a while. I think we're gonna. I mean, even after the factories get caught up and we're getting regular orders and everything's kind of back to some like normal, I still don't think we're gonna see demand slip like we've seen it, like 2014 or anything like that. To your point, when that does normalize back out, and you're trading the 9620 for $280,000 or whatever you're doing, you can do that now and get away with it. You will not be able to do that. I mean, it's gonna snap.
It'll be overnight.
We're meetings years ago. I've been to several dealer group meetings, and the automobile industry, we're so much like them now. And they told us 10, 15 years ago we were going to get to that point, and I told them they were crazy, and now it's happening. And we're going to follow suit in the same way they're operating. Is their demand really never ends, and they get into a normalized inventory situation, and all of a sudden it spikes and it comes down. They tend to weather it better than we do, so we just got to figure out that happy median.
Yeah.
Yep,
Price-wise, though, like, do you, with all these inflated steel prices and stuff, I mean, do you guys at all see it coming back, retracting some?
No.
I don't think
that's
it's going to retract.
So-
I think
it
it's
might
going to be
come
in
down a little bit, but
it's
it's
just
not
going to
gonna-
increase
yeah.
the product.
I had another manufacturer, small short line we deal with, and talking with the owner 2 weeks ago, and he physically said between now and February, our small stuff that we buy, gearboxes, drive lines, all the components, chains, they've already been told they're going up 14% more on top of where they're at today between now and February, and the funny thing that I've seen being in a pile of short lines is the differences in each manufacturers and how much some of them have absorbed, and the differences in where they're built in the world and the amount of or lack of increase that some have seen. So some of the countries like over towards Asia, like 4% on some of the small tractors for their Germany and Austria and Europe equipment, not quite as much. The North American stuff made in U.S. and Canada has multiple price increases over the last year, where some of the other ones have just done it on discounts. They haven't even had to take a price increase. We'll just do it on the discount side of things. And that's been the biggest thing for me to see is where it's made in the world. Now, they're still having trouble making that piece of equipment, or at least finding a container to put it on to get it here. So they're still having the same shortages, but they haven't had the steel and component price increases that we've seen in North America. And that's what's crazy to me is seeing that.
Well, it's like some of the manufacturers you're talking about, some of our short lines. Just this week I've priced, and they give me 24 to 48, sometimes a little 72 hours on that quote, and that's it, because once they get my order in the system, there's no telling how many more came in, and they're going to have to up their buying of that raw product to bring it in. So we're quoting, it's quoting by the day.
Yeah. Yep. That's the other thing we've had to change up too, is so used to making a quote and you kind of let the quote linger.
30 or 45 days.
Right.
Yeah, let it linger for a while, and then you still interested in this or not? Man, I tell you what, I don't know how many things I've quoted in 7 or 8 days, like you're talking about. You get, oh, by the way, now what you ordered is now 14% higher.
Yep.
Like,
Or have the order have the new piece of equipment. The order's been in the system
then
for
they
6
call
months,
you
and they
about
go
it.
back and
Yeah.
say, hey, even though you've had it in there 6 months,
increase.
we're going to price increase that one. Now you've got some that have said, nope, you ordered it then at that price, and they're locking it in. And man, that sure is nice. But
yeah.
I won't call the manufacturer, but I just got 2 machines delivered that were on order for close to 12 months, and they hit me at one point for $1,500, and now a $3,000 extra steel surcharge.
Yeah.
So what do? You can't, you can tell them to take the load back, but there's somebody else waiting to take that order
ready to go.
because we need that product on the yard,
Yep.
and you can't sell from an empty wagon. We know that, so.
Makes it tough. really does. Well, I guess as you guys take a look at going through like 22, what are some of your thoughts about that? I mean, I look at 22 thinking that I don't see a lot changing as far as
Same as 21.
The same conversation
for the
we're
most
at right
part,
now.
yeah.
I don't see much changing there. So, what is? I guess what are you doing? What are you going to do to make that work? I mean, where's that fine line in the sand? That I'm going to go to auction day. I'm going to buy 10 tractors. I don't care how much they cost. Where does that line stop? And irrational decisions start to kind of fumble in.
Well, it's a market-driven world right now we're in, and we have to go back and caution our salesmen to not overpromise and explain to them in the best terms you can that, hey, this is an inflated market.
Yeah.
What you're selling your customer, if he comes back in 12 months, we may not can give him the typical usage that we may give on a machine that's $15,000 a year just
Right.
across the board. He may have to pay double.
Yeah.
So it's to your point, it's an extreme trying to figure out where to go. There's no glass ball, because if there were, we wouldn't be sitting here talking.
That's right. That's right.
I think each deal can be separate,
Yeah.
Each deal, each customer can be a different deal,
Yeah.
Line of communication is going to be really good between you and your customer.
This is the most cautioned I've ever been in my life in this business. Not necessarily, we were cautioned, when we saw the slide, in the economy and those kind of things. But man, I'll tell you what, this is a whole different kind of thing. Like, you want to go out and
You want to buy,
go,
you're
go
scared to
full throttle,
death.
but you're like, man, I don't know when it's going to be.
Yeah.
Am I going to be the dumbass that gets caught with that $50,000
We bought
overvalued
these,
whatever?
We bought these 10 tractors yesterday, and we woke up today, and they are super wrong.
I think all that comes back from what we experienced in 14, 15.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The cake party ended then,
Yeah.
and the hungover started.
Yeah. And that was a long hangover. I know.
But I mean, still, it was a steady. You knew your orders came in when they were supposed to. It was a steady stream of stuff, like what Eddie said with the bulk, and then all of a sudden you've got orders that have been backing up, and then they send them to you at once. So we had all these orders planned to sell, and we never did get them sold because they weren't sitting there. And then so it may be they show up, and then it dies on us. So it's not even used equipment that we're hung with; it's a bunch of new equipment that you get hung with for a while.
It's the slug feed into the supply chain, where in 14 it was, we ordered them at combine and it came in X number of months, like clockwork. And sometimes they showed up early. It was great.
Yeah.
We could predict that. Now
Yeah.
it's like, we have no idea what's happening.
But the good thing is, like you and I were talking the other day, it's a blessing that for which the used is doing what it is because of the BS in the new world. So, but because of that, we're not going to have oh my God, we have so many 21s and 22s, it won't be like the 12s and 13s or of every color of every machine. So that is one benefit to it. We're not going to have a slug of, oh my God, a 2012 S670.
The inventory on the books is less.
Right.
That's the
Way less.
key differentiator there.
Yep. That's the one thing too, is that when things do change and the normalization comes back to where we're getting stuff on a regular basis like we're supposed to be, we won't have, we're gonna have a pretty empty cupboard to fill back up. So that gradual kind of getting the trades back in and starting to see that inventory pile back up. What's happened here this last 2 years could be 5 years before we actually get caught back up to actual having some, oh boy, we got an inventory problem. What are we gonna do? We'll probably forget how to handle those. We'll be like, oh, man, we used to do this.
Nah, it's pretty ingrained. I think it'll be all right.
We used to do this, but I don't remember how we did it. Well, fellas, this is good. Glad to see you guys again, man. It's really a
Thank
pleasure.
you for the invite.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks for doing it, man.
Thank you,
Enjoyed it.
Jason.
Thoroughly enjoy it. Adam, tell them where they can find your podcast.
Aggish Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that, websites, Twitter, Facebook,
Yeah.
Aggish Farmer. We got a pretty cool one coming up with an organic guy up in upstate New York, farms a couple thousand acres. organically, and kind of how he was able to scale that.
Yeah.
So got that one coming up pretty soon. I think that'll be a pretty good invite. And another good buddy of ours that went to college with my wife, Jay Hill, out of West Texas. He would actually be from West Texas and big in the hay business, ships hay and silage all over the world. He's kind of a cool deal, big on social media, influence on Instagram and stuff like that. So Jay's going to be coming up here in a week or two as well.
Good deal. Well, fellas, glad to see you guys. Hopefully do it again next year.
Yes, sir.
And
Here, here.
right on. Well, I'm Casey Seymour with Moving Iron Podcast. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So you're going to find the latest editions of Moving Iron Podcast. Go to MovingIronLLC.com for all the latest news, whatever news I guess I put on my website. So go check that out. And enjoy this economy, because it's going to be something that we're never going to see again, I don't think. So it'll be an interesting time. So for Aaron, Brent, what's your name again? Matt? Eddie? Brian and Adam. This is Moving Iron Podcast out. You want to have a meaningful competitive advantage to help sell more equipment. Whether you represent the sales, parts, or management department of an implement dealership, there's a surprising amount of complexity when it comes to tire, wheel, and track technology. Let Axon worry about that so you can get back to supporting your customers. Axon has leveraged years of experience to create a streamlined process that gives you a proven path to help today's grower and sell more equipment. The roots of their organization go back almost 100 years to the invention of the rubber tractor tire. Supporting agriculture is the number one driver of Axon, from product development through sales and service. To find more or become an Axon dealer, head over to axontire.com.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron, time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here.